I'm Expectaz, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a riser build-up effect in the Akai Force to make your arrangement sound more magical and better. Because if you don't do risers and breaks, yeah, it can get dull. And it's something I'm working on lately, and I thought I want to share it. As you can see, I have my Force screen up there, so you can watch every step that I'm taking. Yeah, so you just look at the screen of the Force and you will see what I'm doing. So I'm going to start just by going to the launch window, and I will create a new track. So I click the plus button and I want to create a drum program because I'm going to sample everything into a drum program. We can also use a key group, but I like to have it consolidated into one drum program so I'm able to reuse it later. You can save tracks to disk, and those tracks you can import into other projects. And that's why I love to have it in a drum program, because a drum program can have 128 samples and you can just reuse it. And I can maybe make one that has more than 10-20 variations of risers and then re-import it, pitch it, do other stuff with it. So yeah, let's just go for it. I create the drum program and then let's go into note mode. And here I have all my notes playing. And I want to have some kind of sample, and in this case I'm going to use my Sequential Prophet Rev 2 to create a sample. So I'm going into the sampler, and as you can see my sampler is now armed and nothing is coming in there on the bottom. But if I play something, you will see that audio is coming in. In this case it's a little bit low. That's because I'm also recording now with OBS, but I can push the volume up a little bit, and that's fine for me, I guess, for now. This is the sound that I want to have, and I will make it into a riser that is going to loop. So what I need to do is now wait for the reverb to finish, because I have reverb here on my mixer, and you can see it over there as well, that it is yeah, it has a long tail. But now I'm just going to record it. As you can see, I have this max length over here, and it's set what to 3 minutes something. I can yeah, make it longer, but this is more than enough for my taste now. And I will just record the sample from the Sequential, yeah, just one note, because I'm going to loop it anyways. I want to have the pitch effect, and I want to build that into the Force, and also play with effects like filters and stuff. So I'm going to arm. So now it's armed, and when I now press a button over here, it will sample that tone. That's long enough, because what I just want to do is the looping, and I will use the crossfades. You will see what's going to happen. Let's see if this one is okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. So let's call it Rev 2 bass. And I'm also going to edit it. First, that's a nice trick when you sample. You can just press any pad and you can see assign to pad is changing if I do that. And I want to have it on the first pad, which is A01. And then when I now press edit in the bottom right corner, it goes to the edit of the sample immediately, and I can process it. And then I will choose normalize, this one. And I say do it. Then you have to wait a few seconds, and now it's normalized. So I have a proper sample. That was looped, and it's a one-shot mode now, but that's not really a problem. But if you want to loop it, you need to be in note mode. So you go, I pressed shift clip, or you press edit and then the sample. That's also an option. If you press edit and then press the pad, you go straight into the waveform. But I want to be in global, because here on the global page, as you can see with sample play, it has one shot, it has note off and note on, and I want to have note on. And what that means is that when I press the note and I release it, the sample immediately stops. But another great thing of this is that you can play with the loop points. So if I now go to the sampler, the sample edit page, you can see that it is playing. But if I now go and loop this, so I press this loop button, I remove the loop lock because I want to have the start point of the sample and the loop individually controlled. So let's do it like this. You see, I now have the loop point separate from the starting point, which is great because now it will start at the beginning, but the loop itself will not. Look at this. I'm not sure what is going to happen. Maybe we have some clicks and pops, but we're gonna fix that. See, it's playing. See, you hear a tick. And what you can do, and that's what I mostly try to do, is look and zoom in on the sample and make sure that you have a zero crossing somewhere. So maybe this is okay. And also for the start of the loop we need to do that. So let's zoom out a little bit. And as you can see, this was no zero crossing. But over here I think the phase might be somewhere similar. Yeah, it sounds alright. I think for our purpose this is okay. As you can see, we have this X-fade property, that's this one. And the X-fade is crossfading, and to the right of it you see these two icons. This is linear and this is logarithmic scaling, and I think the logarithmic one works best, but we can try. And I just, yeah, I make this a little bit higher. The loop is yeah, like 54,000 samples, so you can go in theory as high as that if you want. So let's say 50,000 something, that's possible, and it will crossfade across all these samples. Let's try and see what happens if that works. You hear it? It dips a little bit in the volume. That. Maybe we need to have this a little bit lower. That's okay, we can try the linear one. That's fine. I think one of those two is alright. And what we want to do now is to create the riser effect from this sample, because this is a nice sample, but it is not enough as a riser. So what you need to do then is click the edit button on your Force and then press the pad, and you will go into the sample edit. And now you see the sample that we just edited with the start and the loop points. But in here we go to the envelopes, and it's not the first envelope page, but the third one that has the pitch. And as you can see, this one has a pitch depth. I can make this to the max, that's 3600. And if you now press a key, it will be pitched up. You hear that the looping is still okay. But it doesn't rise, but that's because we need to have a higher attack. And this is something you just need to play with, because yeah, there are no real tempo synced LFOs on this pitching. I think, yeah, you have this LFO, but this one, yeah, you can do something like a pitch effect, but it's not that I only want to have it once. It needs to start low and go up and stay there. And that's what an envelope is for. You can do similar things with this one. If you up this one, for instance, it will go up and down in pitch, for example. Or if you want to have that slower, you can do something like that. But we want to use this one for something else, the LFO. I want to have the LFO set so it will pitch up. So now I have the steady sound, but we need to play with the attack. And if you have a short attack, it will be very quick that it starts at the bottom and goes up. You don't even hear it. This is almost like a hardstyle sound. Alarm, yeah. This is more what I want, like in the range of 120. This is the build-up effect that, yeah, put your hands up, something like that, and then your drop will come. And you release it and it's gone. But that's one thing I want to do. Maybe have some release on here, and also for the sample itself, for the amp envelope, because otherwise, yeah, it will not release. Yeah, something like that. And maybe this can be a little bit longer. And also, I think, and that's something you can edit in here as well. If you go and where's that button? Yeah, next to the pitch envelope. There's this square thingy, and there you can set the curve of the attack. So -25, it has a little bit of a rounded feel, but the more you go to 0, the more linear it becomes. Now it is completely linear, so it goes up in a straight line. This is almost what we want. And if I now let go of the button, then the amp envelope yeah, decreases the volume, and also yeah, this release, what you see in here. So that's that thing. I think this is already a really proper thing to do, but I want to make it more interesting. This is just the base of the sound. What I just said is we also have an LFO in here, but I want to have the LFO control the filter, but by default there is no filter on your sound. It says off in this menu, but if I now click it, I have all these different filter types, and I tend to use the MPC one, the last one in this list mostly, because that really sounds good. And I press the knobs button, I hold it, and then I press the screen. And that means that everything you see on the screen, there on the 4 screen, you are able to map. You can't see it from the camera, but my 8 buttons are now mapped to the most parameters here on the screen. So how you want to control the cutoff, I can just turn this knob around, and you will yeah, you will have that. So let's just listen what it does. Yeah, that's okay, but I want to have some resonance there, and also what I hear is that my sample is now clipping, and that is really nasty. I don't want that, so I will decrease the volume, like -9 dB or something to start out with, to prevent clipping, because yeah, that's not something you want. Something like this is okay, I think. And let's see what happens when we play with the... Yeah, that is really good, right? That's something we can play with. What I now want to have is an LFO that is assigned to the filter. So let's up this. And then play with the rate. That is something, that is a riser, and if you go and add some reverb to this or delay, then it will even start to sound a lot better. I go to my my synths on the mixer. I press the master button Normally you are in the regular mixer, but if you click the master button in the bottom right here on the Force, you will go to the return tracks. And these return tracks contain effects that you can send something to. And yeah, that way your Force will not use too many resources. So I go into the effects, and I already made some pre-made effects for reverb. I'm going to load that. For instance, this one I think is a good one that I mostly use. It does some clipping. It has a granulator and a delay after it. So I think if I now go to my sample, this one, and assign it to the send, I want to have less. Something like that, and you have this riser effect, right? That's really cool. You can also play with the waveforms, like you have triangle, sample and hold, saw in reverse, I think. Yeah, this is going up and this one is going down. This is a really nice one, I think. And that's your riser. So what we now can do is make a loop of 8 bars, and then I want to record that rate. So let's go into creating some clip. I will have it here, and I don't know how long my clip is now. Yeah, it is already 8, but since I now have the note set to note on, I need to make it longer. And in the previous video I also shown how to make it longer. I don't know how other to do it than to go here to this grid, and then I go to edit end, and what I now need to do is press select and select my my note, and then I need to turn this wheel around just to extend this length. There's no way, as far as I know, to make it longer easier or something. So I would like to type it in so the length is like 8 bars or something. Maybe this edit screen. No, it doesn't seem to have that. So yeah, the only way is go to edit end, and then yeah, that's where it is. There's no button. I do have these zoom buttons that can do something with the zooming. But there's nothing to make or extend the note. But yeah, who cares anyway now. I made it a little bit too long, I think. I think I want to have it, the last bar needs to be clean for me. There you can put some sample or some fill in or whatever. But let's listen if it now works. My tempo is 125. Let's go up a little bit in 127. And then press play and listen what happens. I think it can go up a little bit faster because at the end, so like bar 7.5, I want to have it at the max. So I'm going into my sample, go to the envelope again of the pitch, and I make it a little bit quicker. And now listen what happens. Maybe it will do it what I want. Almost. that's what I want. It's at the maximum, and it stays there for a little while. And what we now can do is go into the LFO and play with the LFO rate. I want to just go and record it. So I press the record button, press play, and then we're going to record this. Something like that. Not sure if I like this this saw down. Let's go for the sine. Okay, I like that. Now for the next sample, what you also hear most of the time is some kind of a snare build-up. Let's go and find some snare. I'm not sure. I have some drum hits. Let's see if we can find a snare that is okay. Maybe something like this. Yeah? Nah, no, I don't think. That's also. We can have something like this indeed. And my loop is now 8 bars long. And I go and create some notes. Yes, for the next bar. This is also a great tip. If you don't know how to get to the next page for your step sequencer, just hold it. And here in the top there are now multiple buttons. So if I go here, it will show me the first bar. And if I press the third one, it has the third bar, for example, which is still empty. And I now go and add all the notes there. So I can just hold my hands like this. And then that's a very quick way of adding samples. Want to have one there. So now the last bar is empty, and let's hear what it sounds like. I think I want to have it less filtered. Also maybe something with the panning, that also really helps to get some stereo imaging. Okay, that's nice. And we have now this snare roll, and what I want to do is to ramp up the volume. So I'm going to use velocity for that one. I select every one of those snares, then I go into velocity, and this I think is a little bit cumbersome. I don't know how to ramp up this, so like I want to ramp it up that it goes higher, but I don't know a way of doing it. Maybe also in here it says random events double. No, I don't think there is a way to have just a ramp. So you need to go and click the pencil icon there. And then, this is finicky, you need to draw some kind of line, but now I don't know what I have been doing. Maybe I need to deselect it, I always forget this. Deselect, and then draw the nodes. Nope, that's not working, now it only has one. So I think you need to select them, and get lucky with the pencil icon. Maybe if yeah, that is it. Maybe I think I found it. You need to start drawing somewhere where there's no note yet. Yeah, so now I have this line, and if everything is okay, we will have something that ramps up. Alright, that's a great start, and now we can really get creative with samples, load sound effects, whatever, because that's what you want, right? Not sure what is in here. Maybe I want to have some no, maybe something like that really helps. This one is nice. That is something I want, and then maybe we can have it in here somewhere. So I now have it set to there. This can be a one-shot sample, that doesn't matter. It needs to play to the end anyways. Maybe we want to have this a little bit later. Maybe even there. Yeah, there's my drop. Maybe it can be a little bit quicker. So there. That's okay. That's something I really like. Maybe some more. You just get creative. This is just a sample pack that I have bought a while ago, and yeah, you can just get creative, make your own sounds. Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as you are creative. This one also sounds good to me. So now I can repeat this one maybe even. Yeah, now. Yeah, you can do as much as you want. This is a vocal sample I now have, and I just put it in there. That's something you can always do, right? It is cheesy, but it works. This is nice, but maybe I will have some soft clipper on that sample to make it louder.
Power runs out, recharge. Power runs out, recharge.
I think the sample is too long. Let's go for this. It was repeated.
Power runs out, recharge.
Yeah.
Power runs out, recharge.
And then yeah, it's just a matter of stacking stuff and make it.
Power runs out, recharge.
This one is a really slow build-up effect. Needs to be more here, I think.
Power runs out. Recharge.